Hello, it's Andre from Heroes World, and I'm bringing you a brand new show. It is called Heroes World TGIF. That's right, it's the weekend, and you have survived your work week. You are ready, willing, and wanting to delve into all your hobbies. And at Heroes World, we've got you covered. We're going to bring you a show all about the great things that we offer and things that we think you are going to want to get into. So I'm joined by my wingman, Jesse, and we have got a great show for you today. Jesse, how you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
I am doing amazing. It's been a long week this week, but it's Canadian Thanksgiving for all our viewers who are, fellow Canucks. So we thought we're going to put together a little video about all the cool things that we got in this week, as well as things we like. We've got a big show ready for you. We're going to talk about what comics we like. We've got some creepy comics because we know it is the scary season. Halloween's right around the corner all month long, October. This is some people's favorite time of the year. Got a really cool battle in our Who Will Win section. And we're going to talk about some new miniature game releases. But I know your favorite thing, Jesse, is comic books, much like mine. So what did you pick up this week? What are you reading?
This week I picked up a great little series. It's called Deadpool Black, White, and Blood, not red. Blood, yes. So the premise of this one is everything's in black and white except the reds. So if you look at this panel here, everything's
right on
black, white, and then the blood, or Deadpool's costume, which I'm kind of repping right now. Favorite character.
Nice. You a Wade Wilson fan, right?
Very much so. Now, this is one of many series. I believe they did a Carnage one. They're doing a Red Sonja one.
Yep.
What was the first one? Do you remember that one?
I don't remember the first one, but we've definitely had Wolverine. I think might have been the kickoff for the Marvel because they did Wolverine kind of during the early part of this pandemic, right?
Oh, yes, it was Wolverine, wasn't
Carnage, right? Red Sonja. There's got to be somebody we're missing, but so far those ones have all been pretty excellent. And what's special about this Deadpool or this type of anthology series?
So each book has 3 different stories, so you don't really have to follow any continuity. It's just a little segment in time. All of the white, black, and red blood, whatever it be, is little anthologies. So you can pick it up. You don't have to follow the number order. Just pick it up and read and have a good time.
Very cool. So Deadpool's your guy. We know he's a murdering kind of mercenary with the mouth. So far, has this series lived up to that for you?
Yes, yeah. There's been some quirky stories. There's been some actually heartwarming stories. I think in the last issue, it was Deadpool breaking the fourth wall like he always does, talking to the actual writer. So each little segment is done by different writers too. So you get a whole different variety of Deadpools.
Very cool.
Which is neat.
Very cool.
Now, also, I'm still reading this week because it's so big, so large. It's Amazing Spider-Man 875 or 74 if you're following the series.
Yeah.
Now this one's great. It's finally coming to an end with the Kindred. If you don't know Kindred, you should. He is Spider-Man's new main antagonist. Do we know who he is? I don't know. Is he bringing up a lot of Spider-Man past? Very much so. The last issue I read, I think he was touching upon how Mary Jane and Spider-Man used to be married before they weren't married.
Before the whole Mephisto brand new day taking away their marriage and their happiness. Okay, that's interesting. And this this not Dan Slott. This is Nick. Is it the writer's eluding me, but this is his big run. This is his send-off for Spider-Man, right?
Nick Spencer. Yeah,
Nick Spencer, that's it. Yeah.
I believe this is his last issue as on his Spider-Man run. But it's great. Also, too, I think there was a little hint that the Green Goblin and Gwen Stacy had a few kids. What's that all about? I don't know.
They touched on that years and years ago in the Michael Straczynski run on Amazing Spider-Man. Very, very contentious, very controversial. But I think they made it that because of the goblin serums, the kids aged really fast and then something happened. But yeah, boy, if they're bringing those back, I think there's going to be some fans that are going to have something to say about that.
Yes, and I will spoil one thing. This Kindred character may be an Osborn. So it may be one of those twins. It may be little Normie Osborn. We don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. That's pretty big. So what else did you have on tap from comics this week or previous weeks? Anything else?
One more I just want to glaze over really quickly. The fastest selling, the growing, most popular writer on a comic book series is Berserker by Keanu Reeves.
Right on, our Canadian boy.
Mm-hmm. Apparently he's becoming the fastest growing comic book seller.
Well, I think the Berserker #1 for Boom, I think it sold like a couple million copies. So that's pretty huge. The series, this is issue #5. So at the store, we just got in the graphic novel, which is the first 4 issues. And then this is, I guess, if you wanted to pick it up right after reading that graphic novel. But it's also been a little bit delayed because this book started or was supposed to start, when the pandemic hit. But very, very cool book. It's very well drawn, very graphic by Ron Garney, right? The art's very, very cool. Kind of got I like it's kind of like sketchy, and it's a little it's rough around the edges, especially when they're talking about those past sequences with him as the, I guess you want to call him, I don't want to say as a Neanderthal, but primitive man, when they showed that backstory. So yeah, quite a cool concept. Are you digging the book?
Yes, it's if you like John Wick, it's pretty much like you said, prehistoric John Wick. He's taking out enemies with clubs and little makeshift axes and stuff. It's really good. It's really good.
Right. And if you're not familiar with Berserker, Berserker is the story of an immortal who's trying to find out about his past in a quest almost to end his life because he's been alive for centuries and stuff. So it's a very interesting book. It's brought to us by the good people at Boom Studios, written by and co-created by Keanu Reeves, and I think it's is it Matt Kint who's also doing the
yes,
writing?
Matt Kint.
Yes, and amazing art by Ron Garney. So great book. If you guys are looking for something different to check out, we both recommend Berserker.
Yeah. Now you brought up how gory it was. I'm just going to show a little quick image of actually how gory it was or is. So that's our boy there, Keanu Reeves. And that's him being pulled apart by a whole bunch of horses. So they're not holding any punches when it comes to
yikes. That's kind of crazy. So wow. Yeah, definitely not for the faint of heart. So if you're a little bit shall we say get a little sick by seeing blood, maybe you don't want to check out Berserker. But if you are okay with it, like Jesse said, it's very John Wick-esque. So get ready for some crazy hype, action, and violence.
What have you been reading? What have you picked up? What have you checked out?
There's always so many great titles that come in, but I really wanted to kind of pinpoint and narrow and try something new. So one of my favorite writers, Rick Remender, is out with a brand new book, and it is called, very cool title, A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. This is brand new this week, and cool story. It takes place in Vancouver, British Columbia. And I bet you're kind of wondering, you're probably looking at this and saying, hey, this guy kind of looks familiar. And I'm not quite sure if the rights have been utilized or if they've been, talked about, but this definitely looks like the actor who plays Wong amongst other people. Great, actor, love him. But yeah, totally looks like this. Now, why do I like the book? The art is simple and it's very realistic. But sometimes you pick up a book and you read it and you're following it along and the story is clear, yet you don't quite know what is going on. This kind of, you're following the day in this guy's life, and he just seems like he's kind of, down and out. It starts pouring rain when he's smoking a cigarette and he's just frustrated, and then he's running to catch the bus, and then an elderly couple's running, so he holds the bus for them, And this is all these kind of weird things are happening to this guy. He goes to buy cigarettes and they don't sell his brand of cigarettes and stuff. Bumps into somebody at the cigarette store. So it's almost got a little bit of that. Remember that movie Falling Down? It's kind of like, you think this guy's maybe having a really, really bad day. Not a lot of dialogue, but the art tells the story, and it's moving along and stuff. But man, when I tell you, when you get to the last couple of pages, the whoa, the oh my God moment, you're just like, what did I just see? What just happened? And instantly you are like, okay, I need to know more. And I want to know now how the title kind of gets back in, because something atrocious happens. And I think this guy is going to get some vengeance. Very much feels like Criminal or by Brubaker and Sean Phillips. So it's got that feel. I think the series is going to follow different people. I don't know if they'll be interconnected, but I will say I like the pacing of it. I like the visuals. And I guess overall, what I enjoyed about it is just the overall tone and feel. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot. Don't know this guy's name. Don't know what he's doing. But man, like I said, that last thing, I don't want to spoil it here. You guys got to check it out. We've got lots of copies. Like I said, Rick Remender. This is the guy behind great books like Seven to Eternity.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, there's just like he did a really amazing run on X-Force. Actually, he did my favorite Deadpool in X-Force. It was wicked. Remender's got a ton of books under Deadly Class. What a great comic. And the show got canceled, but it was phenomenal. So you definitely want to check out anything he does, but yeah, definitely check out this first issue. I would love to shine a spotlight on that book. But speaking of spotlights, I think we both can agree that we've got a spotlight comic for this particular week. So without further ado, let's jump into our first segment of the Heroes World comic spotlight. This week, we are spotlighting The Me You Love in the Dark. This is an amazing comic. We're on issue number 3, and it's brought to you by Scotty Young with amazing art by George Corona. Now, I got to say, Scotty Young, you should probably know him as the artist, but he has been writing some absolutely amazing books. He's done Strange Academy. That's Doctor Strange leading the new generation of magic users in the Marvel Universe. He's also did a really cool limited series for Image Comics as well. It was called Middle West. And that, again, kind of fantasy based. Did the hilarious parody, I Hate Fairyland. Really, really cool book. And now we've got this. So it is really, really cool. I'm really loving it. But the feeling of this book, it's got this really dark undertone, and I really don't know where this book is going, but I can't put it down. How does this book make you feel, Jess?
Oh, I love it, and I love reading it in the dark, if that sounds corny or not. But it looks beautiful. We have an image here, don't we?
Yeah, look at this.
Just look at that. It looks amazing. His art, there's something about it which is really appealing to me. I just love the way he draws his characters. I love the way he draws his backgrounds and everything. Like it's beautiful. And the story, we were talking about it a day or two ago. We both have no idea where it's going. It is compelling me. It makes me want to pick it up and read the next issue right away.
Right on. It definitely has that. So right here, we've got the main character that we see, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background about the book so far, but I don't want to give away too many spoilers. We are going to dive deep into why we like it, but we're going to try and keep it, spoiler free. But we have this character, and she is a very successful and popular artist. She's a painter, and she needs to recharge her creative energy. She's got, I guess, when you got artistic block, and she goes to a small town and she wants to rent a place, and she chooses what might be a haunted house. Nobody knows if it's haunted or not, but it's this big kind of dark, old looking house, but it's got character and everything. And so she decides this is where she's going to hopefully be inspired to create more. And that first picture that we showed you, after a couple of days, she might have heard a voice in her head, and you can kind of see this, I don't know if we want to call it being, monster, ghost,
Spirit, who knows,
spirit.
really?
We have no idea, because the only characters that we have in the book are, we have her agent who calls her on the phone, and then we have this mysterious voice. As Jesse said, the art is phenomenal. The panels tell the story, but we also have this troubling, character who, maybe drinks a little bit too much. Maybe she's a little bit lonely. So we really don't know. Is she seeing things? Is she hearing things? Is this all in her head? But I think that's part of the magic of this series, is that we are left to our own devices to basically kind of piece together what's going on in this story. One of the things I really, really like about it so far, Jesse, is other than what we talked about, is we see that she's coming out and she's making her art. But I love the fact that we are not seeing that. We're seeing her in front of the canvas, but we're seeing her brush strokes, we're seeing her can of paint and paint cleaner and stuff like that, but we're not seeing anything. And when she's talking to this spirit, he's like, "Oh, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Can we go and play? Can we dance?" So it seems like a very jovial spirit and stuff like that, but it also seems to be pulling her away from what she's trying to do. But she also is saying that, yeah, she's being very productive for it. So again, so far it's really roped me in. And I gotta say, this third issue, I don't want to use the word terrified, because it wasn't that, but I really felt it really led to some ominous feelings and emotions. You see the passage of time in this issue. I think it covers Halloween to Christmas, and you really see this relationship building between the two people, and you get a really kind of sad moment where she's talking about, "Oh, I used to bake cookies with grandma, and it was a big family tradition," and the spirit's like, "Oh, do baking cookies make you sad?" Because she's crying while doing it and stuff. So you see that they've got this kind of connection. But then it's like, at that point, I'm like, well, wow, really, is this a person in need and isn't getting kind of the support from real people? So I'm really feeling bad. But then the wow, I don't know if I want to go much more into it and spoilers, but I just said the feelings and emotions that this comic can evoke by the words, the dialogue, and the art is definitely something else. Like, I think the title alone, "The Me You Love in the Dark," it's like, okay, is that referring to this creature, this spirit, or is it referring to this character, the main character of it? So yeah, really, really love it. I think it's a very powerful comic so far.
It is, and I'm just going to bring up a picture again. Like, speaking of the art, like, look at this sequence here. There's no words whatsoever, but it tells a story in these two panels, right? Like, lady puts on the record, she starts drawing, she starts drinking more and more, and then she's getting angry, right? No dialogue whatsoever. And then we see how frustrated this artist actually is and how much the artist block is affecting her. She can't do
right
anything.
on.
So what do you think the creature is?
There's definitely there's been some hints, because she asks, she's like, "Oh, are you a ghost?" and he's like, "I'm very old, but I don't have a title." And he definitely doesn't seem like our traditional ghost, because he can interact with things. Like, he puts the record player on for her, he brings her tea. There are moments when they are watching videos together. Like, it's almost like these are they're building a bond and stuff. And most of the time when you see this person, you're seeing maybe up to the neck, and you get this sense that it's a grandiose figure, and you rarely see the head structure. And I'm going to pull up that other image again, and you can see it. So again, this is all that thing's head. There's many eyes, there's many mouths, sometimes there's tongues, but there's also half of the face that kind of looks normal. So I'm really questioning, what is she seeing? Is she looking past the obvious grotesqueness of this being, looking into its soul, its old soul? Or is this being, in a way, how vampires kind of mesmerize and stuff like that? Maybe she is being put under a spell, but it doesn't seem like that right now. So I think it's definitely a creature that's tied to this building, this house, whether it's because of past event or whatever. And I hope they get into it, but it also at the same time, like, I don't know if we really need to know what is
what it is. Yeah,
of this. I think it's all based going to be what this being, the impact it has on this this girl, this artist. What about you? What are your thoughts on it?
well, as we talk about it more and more, I kind of think it's the artist block. I think it's all a mental illusion in her brain, right? If you look at the creature, sorry, we keep bringing it up. If you look at it once more, there's a whole bunch of eyes. What does an artist do? They paint, they make art, and they always have eyes looking at it. This creature is so support. If you're reading the book, you'll realize that it's so supportive. Whatever she does, he's supportive of it. Oh, you want to make cookies? Oh, well, let's make cookies together. Why are you crying? Oh, you like to dance? Let's dance.
Yes.
So forth. So I think it's a mental block that she's created in her head, and she's going to this haunted house so she doesn't seem as crazy, and she can pass it off as, hey, this is a ghost. This isn't actually me, right? It's just something that could go many ways. I'm excited to see what, if anybody else has read it, what they think of it. Right?
What they think of it. Yeah, no, for sure. It's really good. It's definitely, while nothing horrific has happened yet, I think it's definitely in the horror genre and suspense genre and stuff. So if you are a fan of those genres, or you just like a really good comic, very well written, very well drawn, again, I think you'll definitely dig it.
Can I just add one more thing? Have you 100%. Noticed the music notes, or I'm going to assume it's music notes, or the piano keys as it's going through? Those only show up when the demon, ghost, whatever it be, is around. So I'm thinking that has something to play with the Me You Love in the Dark.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So that is our comic book spotlight for the week. The Me You Love in the Dark, issue number 3. Definitely check it out. Like we said, it's kind of scary, a little bit creepy, but that is going to segue right into our next segment. As we said before, it is Halloween. It is the month of spooks and scares. So we are going to talk about some creepy comics all month long. Every week, we are going to recommend a story that is going to chill and thrill. This week is Something is Killing the Children. This is a great comic book series written by James Tynion IV. And wow, this book has taken the comic realm by storm. Issue number 20 hit stands last week. There are 3 trade paperbacks out already and a deluxe hardcover on the way. But let's talk about the first trade paperback. Jesse, what can you tell us about this very cool character that I'm going to pop up right here?
Erica Slaughters, yes. So in volume 1, she's a stranger from out of town that comes in. Children, something is killing the children, so she's there to look into what's killing the children. She's got knowledge. She's dealt with this before. In the first few pages of the graphic novel, we see her on her trip before, when she was dealing with something else killing the children. There's a lot of things killing children in this book, right?
Yep.
She gets a phone call. She's like, okay, I gotta go take care of something else. She's a lady on a mission, and she won't let anything stand in her way, not even a little child that she kind of mentors along the way.
Right on. So, like the title says, something is killing the children. Legit, in small towns across America, children are going missing and being found mutilated, leaving the local police and leaving the town just kind of in shambles and stuff. And this book does a really good job of capturing that kind of, what do they call them? Like not the fairy tales, but urban legends and stuff. And this book actually starts off like there's these boys having a sleepover, and they're like, "Oh, I dare you to go out back into the woods and stuff." And they go, and they hear screams, and then the other one goes, and one of them gets away, but the other kids are just found slaughtered. And the police have no suspects except for this one surviving child.
Everybody blames the little surviving child for the other one's mutilation.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So it's really cool because it's got like that feel like Scream or like I said, these urban legends and stuff. And the art is dark and gritty. And in comes Erica Slaughters, and she looks like a kind of like a normal kid, almost kind of looks like a little emo or whatever. But the way she talks to like the police and handles herself and stuff, she's just like, "Let me handle this. I know what's going on." And they're like, "What are you, all of 16? Like what's going on?" And she runs kind of this investigation. Very cool book. Like it gave me vibes of Buffy, but like way serious. Like and just also had some, I don't want to call them comedic moments, but little moments of levity. She has this stuffed animal that is like this pink stuffed animal, and she talks to it, and it's like talking back, and like, "What's going on?" And then like the police knock on the door and say, "Hey, what's going on?" And she's like, "Don't mind me, everything's fine." So it's got some really cool character moments. The people in the town feel very real and stuff. But yeah, great book. Like that was the one image we showed you of Erica Slaughter, but look at this art. Like she is no nonsense. Whatever weapons are at hand, she is going to get sometimes knee deep in blood to to get rid of these monsters and hunt them down. She's definitely a hunter. Man, I don't know. Like I think Sam and Dean Winchester would have problems with her. What do you think? You think they would be able to mess with her? I think she is super capable as a monster hunter. Again, look at this art. The panels tell the story. Fantastic book. If you like this genre, if you're looking for something to make you a little bit uncomfortable at times, but also wanting more and leaving you with questions and suspense, I think this is definitely a good series.
Yeah. Again, I love the art in it. It just looks beautiful. From we don't see the monsters there, do we?
No, we haven't seen any of the. I purposely didn't pick images with the monster. Didn't want to kind of give those away because the whole premise is something giving. I think that's one of those things when you see them for reading them for the first time. I think that's pretty damn excellent, right?
And the monsters are cool because you have to be attacked by them before you can actually see them. So Erica Slaughters can see all the monsters. So there's a lot of backstory that we're not privy to at the very beginning, because she can see all these monsters, but nobody else can. And the cops are questioning her like, "Hey, what are you doing around all these dead bodies?" And she's like, "Well,
yeah, exactly. What do you know?" Right. And they think almost that she's kind of in on it. So great series. Definitely put this on your radar. And also, if you are already collecting it, you probably know that they've already lined up a spin-off, and it is called The House of Slaughter. It's been delayed a couple times, but I think it's finally going to hit stores next week. It's probably going to be a very hot book. So wherever you get your books, make sure you Tell them that you want a copy. I know it's going to sell really well for us. I don't know if we ordered enough for the demand because we've had a lot of people asking about it. Maybe it's the Halloween season, but yeah, very, very cool. I got a feeling we're going to get a lot of the background about the Slaughters and basically, I guess, what they kind of do. Like I said, kind of get the vibes of Supernatural, like it's a family or an organization like the Hunters, like Sam and Dean and the Winchesters and stuff. But speaking of Hunters and speaking of who would win, we've got a really fun section coming up. And this is, of course, going to be our Halloween edition. So in this show, we want to bring you all kinds of really cool content and stuff. And there's one question that we always get in the store, and that's, who would win? Who would win versus this person versus that person? So we definitely are going to bring you some of that, our most requested stuff. So for Halloween, our very first who will win, Blade the Daywalker versus Batman the Vampire from the Batman Red Rain series. So, wow, we've got the Daywalker versus the Dark Knight. Who shall stand victorious in this climactic battle? All right, Jesse, who's your pick for who would be the last vampire or non-vampire standing?
I think there's a clear winner, and it's got to be Batman. There's no way Blade can stand a chance against Batman.
Do you know your Blade, my friend?
I do, yes. I do. And I don't...
Right.
You've read the Batman Red Rain, right?
I have.
Who stood a chance against that Batman?
He didn't come up against someone as capable as the Daywalker, though. Come on now.
He took out Scarecrow. He took out Joker. He took out Dracula.
He took out Dracula in the first. Yep, he took out Dracula. So let's talk a little bit about Batman Red Rain. Okay, so how did Batman get vampiric powers? Now, keep in mind, this is what you call an Elseworlds. This is a comic that takes place outside of the regular continuity. And in the multiverse, DC has numbered Batman Dracula or Batman Red Rain as Earth, I think it's 43. So it's very cool in this Elseworld. It's written by Doug Monk and with amazing art by Kelly Jones. This came out, I want to say mid-90s original graphic novels by DC Comics. So basically, Dracula is in Gotham, and he is, killing and feeding on the homeless and making, Gotham like, an even bigger cesspit than it was. Batman is approached by a female vampire who's broken away from Dracula and knows that his reign has to come to an end. She bites Bruce Wayne, embedding him with vampiric powers, but does not change him. So he's still got his human mind and his human brains, but he now has vampire-like abilities. And I think that's the key difference, because now you have a super-powered Batman who still has Bruce Wayne's combat ability, tactical ability, access to gadgets, and his humanity, his intellect. That's his biggest thing, right? So if we were to take this particular version from Red Rain, I think that's the vampire version of Batman that stands the biggest chance against Blade. But let's talk about Blade, the Daywalker, right? So Blade gets his powers from his mother being bitten and while she was pregnant. So he is born with, they call it kind of like a Dhampir. He's like a living vampire, but he doesn't have any of the weaknesses of the vampire. Later on in Marvel's lore, Morbius, the living vampire, actually enhances some of his abilities, right? So Blade is not only well-versed in several different martial arts, he's a weapon master. He has a healing factor, can regenerate. He's immune to all vampire abilities, right? He's got super strength, super speed, super senses, right? So you add all of those things up, right? He's immune. He's the Daywalker. He's immune to sunlight, and he's purposely trained to take on vampires. So right there, you have them kind of being evenly matched, right? But at the end of the day, right, as in my opinion, I'm going with Blade. If you guys can't tell, I'm saying that Blade can hunt down and take out this vampire, because remember, Batman can only go out at night. And if he does not feed on blood, he is not going to get stronger. So I think that Blade is going to use all the tricks, all the knowledge to beat this Batman. And this Batman, while he can be out at night, he definitely has to get somewhere else, or the Daywalker is going to beat him. So I think it's going to be a interesting bloodbath. But come on, look at Blade. The guy is armed to the teeth. He's got guns. He's got stakes. He's got special swords. He's got like the glaives that we've seen. Like, this guy, he is no joke. All right. So yeah, we've got crazy powerful vampire Batman. But remember, those vampire powers that he has, he can bite Blade, but it's not going to do anything. He can't hypnotize Blade. He's immune to all of those things. So yeah, I'm thinking that even though this guy is scary, I don't know if Bruce Wayne Batman, even as this vampire, could really stand up to Blade. But I will tell you one thing. It would be one hell of a fight. Like, that would be, I think, going 12 rounds. You know, they're going to fight from, you know, dusk all the way to dawn. And whoever is going to be the last man standing, or the last vampire standing, they are going to tell a tale of this was their hardest battle. So if you guys are watching, comment, let us know who you think is going to win. Is it going to be Batman Red Rain, or is it going to be the Daywalker Blade, the vampire hunter? Because I think that's going to be very interesting. I think we're going to have a split. I think, kind of like you and I are split, Jesse. I think that's it's going to definitely make some people, you know, kind of do a little bit of research, right? And see who you putting money on. You know, who you putting money on? You putting money on Blade, or you putting money on Batman? Normally you say Batman can be prepared for anything. Batman. I don't think a vampire Batman can be prepared for.
Can I ask you a few questions before we carry on here?
You definitely can, my friend.
Okay, who is Batman's #1 villain in his rogues gallery?
His #1 villain.
Yeah. Who's Batman's #1 foe?
Well, it would be the Joker. I would say his greatest adversary is Ra's al Ghul, but
that's Batman chomping on the Joker right there. Look,
right on.
No chance.
Yeah, but the Joker he's not in Blade's category. The Joker's never been a match for Batman physically, and this version of Batman, I like I said, he's got vampire strengths, but I think this one is, you know, I think it's an easy one.
Who's Blade's #1 foe? Sorry, I don't know much about Blade, but I'm pretty sure it's Dracula. I'm pretty sure he's hunting Dracula right now in the books, isn't he?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Batman picks up Dracula and throws him like nothing and kills him. Why hasn't Blade done that? Why hasn't Blade done that?
You're right on about that one. So the cool thing is obviously they're two different Draculas. It's DC Dracula and Marvel Dracula. But the nice thing about Blade's foes is Blade doesn't have a big rogues gallery because he kills them all.
You can't use that as no, that doesn't count.
So that's the nice thing about Blade. He's not afraid to get his hands bloody. That's what he does. He decapitates vampires. This version, like I said, if it's the Red Rain version, he's still got a little bit of Bruce Wayne in him, holding him back his humanity. And I don't know if he's going to fight to the death. But I think you brought up some very interesting points, and we'll let the fans kind of decide and let us know. But if you guys are interested in reading, one more, go ahead.
One more point.
Yeah.
This man right here. Do you know who that man is in the top left corner?
That looks like Alfred?
That is Alfred. He knows he doesn't stand a chance to Batman. So he's like, here, just take my blood. Just have it. I think Batman's gonna win, hands down.
Hands down. All right,
Hands down.
all right. So we'll see. We'll revisit this once we see all the people who have weighed in. But if you guys want some cool reads to check out, let's take a look at a couple books we recommend for you for Batman. Red Rain currently is not in print, but here's two great Batman books that you can check out. This is Batman Damned, the hardcover, and it's a very, very good series written by Brian Azzarello, art painted by Lee Bermejo, and it's a fantastic tale. It has got the Dead Man. It has got the Joker, Harley Quinn, John Constantine. Also, the plot is Batman. Someone has killed the Joker, and Batman's trying to find out who it is. Definitely a great tale to read, especially at Halloween. Amazing book. I can't say enough about it. You can get copies here on our website. And the next book is Batman, the White Knight. This is the follow-up, Curse of the White Knight. And this is all done by Sean Murphy. Art, writing. It's the follow-up to the original book, as I said. And this is where the Joker has basically turned to Gotham against Batman. He became the White Knight when he was cured from his insanity. And he teams up with Azrael, who you can see in the background, to unleash this version of the Sword of Vengeance on Gotham to get revenge. Great, great series. Available in trade paperback at the store right now, or you can get it on our website. Amazing read. I can't say enough about both of these books, but if you want now a really cool book that came out with the Daywalker, you need to look no further than the Heroes Reborn. It's a world where the Avengers have disappeared, and the only person who knows that something is not right is Blade, the vampire hunter, and he is going across this brave new world to find out what happened to the Avengers. In this quick little picture, you can see him finding a very different looking Steve Rogers. And fun fact, in this particular book, we have a fight between Blade and the Squadron Supreme member Nighthawk, who is almost an analogy to Batman, and Blade kind of whoops his ass. So, there is that. So those are a couple of books for you to read and to check out. As we said, lots of good stuff in both of those volumes, so you want to check those out. But speaking of all things mystical and kind of magical and supernatural, let's segue right into our next section, which is This Is How We Roll. And this is our section on gaming. As you know, our store covers a ton of gaming, from miniature games to card games, board games, all kinds of stuff. So we're going to talk about some of the new releases that just dropped today. And first up, it is the Marvel Crisis Protocol game, which is a superhero miniature game. You build, paint, collect your team of superheroes and or supervillains and pit them against each other. And right in Halloween style, we have got kind of Marvel's Sorceress and Sorcerer in a 2-pack. We've got Doctor Strange and his Mistress Klee. This is the Doctor Strange costume I really, really love. This was from Mark Waid's run on Doctor Strange a couple years ago. Really, really love this new look. And not to be left without a cool place to battle, you have got the Sanctum Sanctorum. This is a new piece of scenery to add to any of the scenery that comes into this game, so you can make your battlegrounds epic. And speaking about epic battles, who does Doctor Strange tussle with the most? That's right. Look at this Dormammu. This is the epic scenario pack Dormammu. And look at this. Now, I know I'll never be able to paint as well as this, but damn, this is a fantastic, fantastic model. All of these models that I'm showing you here, you can check out on our website. They're all available. Like I said, the Doctor Strange was out today. This guy was out last week, and he's also joined by, we've got Baron Mordo and the Ancient One. Look at those sculpts. Fantastic. Very, very mobile. Look at the Mordo. He's from the movie, definitely this version here. And, we see that same type of disc, and we've got the classic casting of the spell, and we've got the Ancient One, again, looking more like the Marvel Cinematic Universe version. But as well, we have got none other than Brother Voodoo, and he comes in a 2-pack. This is Brother Voodoo with the Hood. And if you guys know your Marvel history, the Hood is a crime boss who has gotten bestowed powers through his hood. You can see he's got his demonic form and his form where he has his pistols imbued with arcane energy. So Marvel Crisis Protocol, like I said, it's a great miniature game. You build your team. At this point, not only do they have Avengers, but they've got X-Men. They've now got the sorcerers and Marvel's mystical side, but they also have so many cool villains as well. You've got Thanos, and you've got the entourage from the movie. What they call the Black Guard. We also have Mr. Sinister, Thanos. Man, there's so many cool miniatures in this game, and it is an easy game to play. All you need is that starter set, which comes with some great scenery, and then there's, I don't want to say hundreds yet, but there's so many characters to choose from. Like I said, you got Avengers, you've got X-Men, you've got your villains, you've got your cosmic guys, the Guardians of the Galaxy. There's so much to choose from. I can't say enough about this game. Easy to play, and you get to be creative because you get to paint those miniatures too, and they're easy to build, but they do require glue just in case anybody's got sticky fingers. You got to take a little bit of your time with doing those.
Now, a question for you. I know you fell in love with the Sam Wilson Captain America, and you said you were going to start playing.
Yes.
Now that Doctor Strange, your favorite character, is in the game with his own playset with Dormammu, who look at this. It looks unreal. Like, look at the detail on the face, in the face skull. Like, it's amazing. Are you finally going to give Crisis Protocol the chance it deserves?
Well, let's just say, so there was a previous Doctor Strange sculpt out. So this isn't his first iteration, but like I said, this is the costume I like. So once this came into the store, we have a very good customer and friend who is a commission painter, and he ordered these new models, and I snuck in my Sam Wilson, Captain America, and War Machine, as well as my Doctor Strange with a little note saying, please paint these for me. So I will say there's a couple sculpts I absolutely love in this game. And how the game works, Jesse, it's actually pretty cool. Each hero has an affiliation, and you want to make a team to get that affiliation bonus, right? So if the most people on your team have the Avengers affiliation, you will be considered Avengers, and you get that Avengers team bonus. So I think I'm going to do a mix. I'm going to do the Avengers, but I'm also going to probably throw in the sculpts I like. So probably won't win many games, but I'll have some cool looking models. Definitely going to have Sam Wilson in there. Going to have Doctor Strange in there. I'm also toying with either putting Black Panther and Cable in, because I just love those sculpts in the game. For me, anything about miniature gaming, I just love. It has to look cool, has to look kinetic, and I think that this company, it's Atomic Mass Games, they've been getting better and better with their sculpts. Some of their earlier sculpts I wasn't crazy with, but now just seeing these things, it's super, super cool. So to answer your question, I'm definitely delving into Crisis Protocol. I no longer have an excuse, and those miniatures are in the mail on the way to my good friend Colin, who will get to them as his backlog and stuff, gets under wraps and stuff. So I'm super, super excited to maybe get those back, but also to do some research into the game and seeing how I can, hey, do I pick up a Sanctum Sanctorum to go with the rest of the terrain? And maybe I'll just build a cool New York scene and that'll be fighting. But they also have like a cosmic scene and all kinds of, cool stuff. So
once you get started, you can't really stop, right? You're like, oh, I need this character. I need to build my Avengers. Speaking of the sculpts,
they've got a really cool, for you, if you ever get interested, there's a Deadpool, and he actually comes with his taco truck, and he comes with a little Hydra agent. So it's kind of funny. Lots of different poses for Deadpool and stuff. And I know you're artistic and you like to paint miniatures, so maybe you just get it as a painting project and stuff. So, or you just say, hey, yeah, let's build up this X-Men and go from there. So lots of very, very cool stuff. So yeah, those are new figures in today. Some of the stuff we talked about, new comics, and a spotlight there of our pick of the week. So that is our first episode of Heroes World TGIF. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. But as you know, there is lots of content on Heroes World online. We are bringing you the Heroes World podcast every Sunday, and our topics range from anything that is superhero or pop culture, TV shows, be it movies, anything that we like, that we think you like, we watch, we dissect, we talk about, we make predictions, we have a lot of fun. On Monday night, John and the gang, usually it's Rob, but Stu's been getting in there too. That's the Sidekick Show, and that show is live on YouTube every Monday night at 8 o'clock. On Thursday, Chris Ho and John Ho team up to bring you, hey, so what did I miss? Pat gets in there as well as Rob, and they do a breakdown of anything that you might have missed in the news, the stuff we think you need to know about. And on Friday, the best day of the week, TGIF, your week is over. You want to have some fun. So you're going to lock it in here live on Twitch. We're going to do this every week, rotating segments, but we're going to have some stuff that sticks all the time because we always want to make recommendations and always want to show you what we love that came in new to the store. So keep it locked in to Twitch and to YouTube. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, as well as Twitch, Heroes World Online. That's the tag. And visit us in store, 8601 Warden Avenue. That's in Unionville, Ontario. Or if you can't, check us out online, our website, Heroes World Online. And you can also reach out to us. You can message us through Facebook or Instagram. We'll get your messages. And if you've enjoyed this content, maybe hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend, and share. This has been Heroes World TGIF edition. I'm Andre, my partner in crime, my wingman, Jesse. We will see you next week. Have a great weekend. And if you're Canadian, enjoy Canadian Thanksgiving. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you on the next side.